well, I'm in a relationship with both of them on TV.
Right.
You know, trying to figure it out.
Right.
You know, yeah, me and Tondy had a stronger connection. You know, but I just felt we wasn't compatible.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is, baby. Are you mad? Are you mad? Are you lean? Listen, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button for the uploads notification, baby. And for those who are returnees, Mineral Gang, listen, you ain't got the minerals, baby. Listen, we do it new every time, baby. Listen, if you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, get out. If you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, Chile, get out, baby. We're going to talk to you guys about Mario's interview. Flipping out, a gay. It's an interesting one. And I just want to start off first of all. What is going on? Now we've got something we've got to deal with here. Either the women in this series are a bunch of cold blood clot liars. Yeah, I mean Lexus and Tondy, yeah, are both bloody good liars. Or the men, London, Mario, are awesome liars. Yeah? Sorry, I haven't even included Reva in there as well. Yeah? Are awesome liars. Yeah? Because Tondy came out and said to us, whilst, you know, Mario came and told her that he was single but dating, which he confirmed. But, you know, she was saying that he came into the house and kitty cat, things got physical.
You're not over there playing Uno. Okay? All right.
Tondy. Okay. All right. Come on. Now, Tondy. So you and Mario.
Things happen, lady.
You and Mario have been more than friends since the reunion.
I was
Physically more than friends.
Things have gotten physical. Yes.
Okay. Why would you allow him to go there after he did? Because the entire country watching on was hurt for you, seeing him do that. That was messed up. I don't think it was his character, but it was. We really felt like, man, that is messed up for him to just do that.
Yeah. Alexis came out and said, London kissed me, you know, by the thing. London comes out and says he never kissed her. Never ever happened. Not an ounce. Not an ounce. Now, I don't know about you lot, but I have experienced lying women and lying men, right? And I'm not going to say I saw a body language that told me everything to know. No, I'm not going to say that at all. What I am going to say is, though, how likely is it? And it could be, because the possibility is this. Tondy and Alexis are kind of friends. They were in that same group. That was the Tondy, Alexis, and Shima group, right? They are kind of close. Alexis also, Tondy also was speaking on behalf of Alexis in terms of the lie that was told for, you know, sorry, not the lie, but the kiss thing that happened as well. So how likely is it that these two women have colluded and both told a lie on the men that they wanted, who didn't really want them, and it looks like, and chose another woman? How likely is it that these two are lying on these men? How likely is it that these two men also are lying on these women, saying this thing never happened? That's what I'm going to say. I'll leave that for you guys to comment down below, because I'm not going to answer it. But I'm going to get into the video and what I saw.
That I did was actually genuine.
Okay.
When we got to the reunion, I had an out-of-body experience. I don't know. I just snapped.
Why
you know,
did you snap?
And I don't know. It was so much stuff that was going on.
Okay.
You know, during the reunion, it was so much stuff that Tondy and I was going through. You know, and I had no idea how that was going to play out.
Yeah.
First thing is this. I want to say this. I am tired of men not taking responsibility. Apologizing necessarily isn't taking responsibility when you're not telling the whole truth. Yeah? I am tired. You see, when you are taking, look, when you explain what happened, you can explain what you're thinking. But it shouldn't take away from the fact that you know what you've done, You understand? Now look, if a woman had done what Mario had done, yeah, with his two women, there would be an uproar. men will be slating these women like there's no tomorrow. When men do it, it's like, men are pricks, men are trash, but you know how it is, that's how men are. And it's like, nah. And I as a male, yeah, you see, this is what, and I'll show you this, because I didn't actually do this video. I did it, but I didn't post it up in it. I'm gonna post it. The reunion, yeah, at the reunion, the boys' reaction to Mario's behavior is completely different to how the women are reacting. The reason why is because males are used to being in a place of entitlement. When they do stuff, they congratulate each other and pat each other on the fucking back because they're okay with what they did. Yeah? Because they too also, if they could, they would. It comes from a place of entitlement. You've been, you know what I mean? Because some of the things that these, like what Mario said, you know what, if I was in another position, I would have never had 2 women. Bro, you do what you are trained to do.
You know, if I can do this all over again, I would have went in that mansion.
Right.
Got one woman and said, you know what?
Peace.
Peace. Right. If it don't work out with us, I can go home.
Don't get twisted. I'm not saying that you are a serial cheater. I'm not going to say that anything. I am saying that you do what you're trained to do. Out of your training, you do what you do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of men are opportunists when it comes to cheating. And a lot of men are serial cheaters in the sense of they are broken inside, yeah? Now, the opportunity is different from the serial cheater because the opportunist saw an opportunity and couldn't help himself. But if you can't help yourself, then we must have an honest conversation, men and women, all right? Which we have to talk about. The Bible says that Paul in Romans 7 said, you know what? Though I will to do right, there is something in me that wants to do wrong. Yeah, and it's what we call the little monster. Yeah, when Adam fell, there was this little monster that got created within us, what we call darkness, sin in the body. Yeah, which causes us to do things that ordinarily our conscious mind are telling us we shouldn't do. Here's the thing: men and women both have this, but here's the thing: men get given too much leeway to deal with this issue. They get given so much leeway. Mario, look, that interview, if it's me, I'm coming at you hard. As a male to male, I've got to tell you something, bro, listen, let's be real. You say that, it started in January, you started in June, and you ended in August. But I'm sorry, Tondy's saying that you lot were having sex. And the way you're responding is like, I don't know why I should say that.
The issue is, and I know we're going to move into the situation with Reva, is if you and Tondy are still, if the attraction is so much that you guys are still having issues and still connected to each other, then that's a little bit conflicting, because she suggested that you guys are still talking a lot. There was even some physical contact that happened afterwards. So,
look,
Mario?
Look, absolutely not. I have no idea why would Tondy put herself out there like that. Okay?
So you're saying she's lying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you guys, after the breakup, you haven't.
Let me say this. Me and Tondy, we did keep in contact.
Okay.
And Reva knew this. We kept in contact because, like I said, I felt, and I still feel horrible about what happened.
Yeah.
So I would, check on her. We would talk, like, hey, you okay? I'm steady trying to apologize.
Right.
Still trying, like, hey,
right.
what I need to do. So that was one of the things that kept us, like, connected.
But no physical.
No physical. Only time I saw Tondy when we was out at Whiskey Mysteries, one of the watch parties or something like that.
Did y'all meet at the park for closure?
I don't know where that came from.
No park.
Unless I got a twin around here or something. Like, come on now.
Mario, now I have to ask you, you would not say that to save, because of course most people are thinking that Mario can't admit that because he's going to mess up the situation with Reva. Right?
Of course they would say that.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just saying, I don't know that you can or not, but I'm just saying if for her to come and that's a big lie. It was a really intense lie.
Yeah. So my thing is, if that was the case, I wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
I just would lay low.
Yeah.
Just lay low. You know what I'm saying? Just lay
Right.
low and just, take my punishment and be
Right.
done with it.
Right.
I never had sex, I never came over. The person is accusing you. I don't think people are getting it. I don't think we're getting it. It's the same thing I said of London. The person is accusing you of kissing. Like, you have to understand this. The person's accusing you of kissing them, or for this case of Mario, having sex. Yeah, doing a kitty catty. Yeah, and by our admission, we didn't understand how Tondy's energy was so intense. But if there was sex that was happening in between the period when you were meant to be doing things with Reva, I can understand why the intensity of her energy is that way now. Because it didn't make sense to us beforehand. That her reaction alone lets us know that there is more to what Mario is saying than he really is letting off. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I see that men don't take responsibility, I get irritated. Why? Because the same way that I feel men don't take responsibility is the same way I feel white people do not take responsibility when it comes to being about racism. So I'm angry at males, especially because I'm angry at the fact that white folk do the exact same thing that males do to women. And if I'm a male, I have to then now, if I want white people to take responsibility for some of their actions when it comes to racism, I must, as a male, hammer a male and tell the male you're moving mad. Do you get what I'm saying? So again, it's not about, and because of one thing that made Mario said about his, about his character. He said, I'm not a bad character. Like, you know what I'm saying? Did whatever.
Feel horrible.
Okay.
About that,
right?
Because that's not my character,
right?
It is not.
Whatever he was saying, and it's like, look, bro, we're not saying you're a bad character. I'm personally saying you're a bad character, but your deeds are speaking for you. If you've done something, and we know you can't admit it, like I didn't expect you to come on here and admit it anyway. Because why? Because at the time you did it, you were meant to be with Reva. Do you get it? You were meant to be with Reva. So now, now the fact that obviously you were meant to be with Reva and potentially you were having sex with Tondy, you're not going to admit it. Of course not. And do you know what made me really kind of think to myself, I'm not sure, I think he may be lying. And I think he may not be telling us the truth. Is that when people deny allegations, you have to watch the way they deny allegations. Politician answers, what we call rationalization or intellectualization, whichever one you want to call it. It's a self-defense mechanism. When they're explaining why they don't think it's happened, listen to the response that he gives.
Of course, most people are thinking that Mario can't admit that because he's going to mess up the situation with Reva, right?
Of course, they would say that.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Right,
so I'm just saying, I don't know that you can or not, but I'm just saying if for her to come and that's a big lie. It was a really intense lie.
Yeah. So my thing is, if that was the case, I wouldn't even be here.
Yeah.
I just would lay low.
Yeah.
Just lay low. You know what I'm saying? Just lay low and just.
The response is around, if that was the case, I wouldn't be on the show. What do you mean you wouldn't be on the show? Listen, there are many people who try to even bypass lie detectors. They come on the show thinking that they can beat the lie detector. There's many people who think they can lie their way out of any situation. Of course you'll be on the show. Your excuse of I wouldn't be on the show if that was the case, it's not a reason as to why I believe you. Why I should believe you. It's not. Look, the person has a key. Look, let me tell you something. When I got accused, I remember a time where I got accused of something. I remember I was going to cinema, and I met this person along the roadside, right, who was an ex of my boy, innit? And obviously now, I was heading my way, the person came across me, and I said, oh, you're looking nice, whatever, da. I left the person now. I was getting to the cinema, and I don't know, in that season, God was just really showing me a couple of things, and I had a vision. I don't usually have visions. I didn't know it was a vision at first. I thought it was just my imagination, because sometimes I have my imagination, I think to myself, Rocco, you think about some mad things, but now I know these things are not imagination. God's vision is showing me visions. Situation where I saw her telling him that I tried to make a move in it, and I was like, but my imagination's a bit wild. Maybe my imagination's moving a bit wild, isn't it? Bro, I kid you not. I was in the cinema, halfway through the film, my phone is ringing. The boy whose ex it was, my boy, whose ex it was, fam, calling me. I've seen 3 missed calls. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? So like, bro, I'm gonna call you after the cinema. I get off the cinema now, get out of the cinema, pick up the phone call. I'm now thinking to myself, I hope it's not what I thought I saw. And I'm still thinking it's my imagination. Pick up the phone. Man said exactly the thing that I saw in a vision. I said to him, bro, listen, you better... and he was coming at me, right, about the situation. I said to him, bro, listen, you need to calm the frick down. And the thing that was annoying me is because not only was he coming at me, but two as well, no matter what I say now, yeah, you might feel a certain way. Of course, because the information has been released. So now I'm pissed. Because once you said that, that's going to set a seed of doubt and it cannot be undone. You have to understand something. You've been accused of something which you haven't done, yeah? I flew off the handle, bruv. And I'm not saying everybody would fly off the handle. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a level of energy that you'd bring to the table. Someone's accusing you, whilst you've got a gal, yeah, that you slept with them. But your energy's like, no, that wouldn't happen to me. No, that's not true. I don't know why she's saying that.
Talking a lot. There was even some physical contact that happened afterwards. So,
look,
Mario?
Look, absolutely not. I have no idea why would Tondy put herself out there like that, okay?
So you're saying she's lying?
Yeah.
So you got...
You're all calm. Mario, you're calm. Bro, you were calmer here than you were actually when she was doing sexual jokes in the pool. That don't make no sense. That lets me know that something is not quite right. Not everyone's emotional like I am and excited and pent up. We know this already. But the way that certain people deal with certain things, man, it's almost too cool. And that for me was a little signal that something's not completely right. Do you know what I'm saying? And for me, that was where I was like, okay, I'm not really feeling what you're saying. Not only that, I would say this, in regards to, you know, how he dealt with the situation with Reva and Tondy as well. The question is, you know, and it's still, and the way that, obviously I get that he apologized, he said he's sorry, you know, the reason why I say men have got to take responsibility is that not only the responsibility of just accepting what you've done wrong, you must now become an advocator to stop other men doing the same thing. And you must speak up about it. Do you know why? Because if it is your daughter, which you have, you will not have it. Therefore, don't be a bloody hypocrite where you're accepting your own fault for what you've done, but then you don't speak out against other guys who are doing the same thing. But when it's your daughter though, you're ready to be firing on all decks. That lets me know the mentality of men. Like I said, because men are kings and they don't like to enter into another kingdom without their, because they're scared of what bloodshed will happen. You know, we want to avoid wars. But the truth of the matter is, as men, we should be calling out man behavior that is wrong. Wrong is wrong. Don't get it twisted. I do things wrong myself. I'm not invincible. I'm not infallible. I'm not perfect. But you must call out when men are mistreating women. It's just that simple. Like, you can't, because if you have a daughter, you can't now go then, that man shouldn't have done that. You can't, because you were that man. And you don't call it out. So you're not helping the cause. So actually, when that happens to your daughter, you can't say anything. You've never helped the cause. You've never helped to try and shape the narrative in a way that stops these F-boys, if you want to call it that, from moving mad. Because you also have kept silent. Your silence has actually aided them. So I don't like that. So do you know what I mean? Like, it has to go beyond just an apology. How many times we're going to apologize for our behavior and not actually do anything about it? Not going to campaign to push for better. Do you know what I'm saying?
That I did was actually genuine.
Okay.
When we got to the reunion, I had an out-of-body experience. I don't know. I just snapped.
Why
you know,
did you snap?
And I don't know. It was so much stuff that was going on.
Okay.
You know, during the reunion, it was so much stuff that Tondy and I was going through. You know, and I had no idea how that was going to play out.
Yeah.
Up into the reunion, he was a genuine self, and then something happened. Something snapped. He had an out-of-body experience at the reunion. Mario, let's be honest. If a woman said that, would you accept that? No. You wouldn't. She had an out-of-body experience to treat like a dickhead in that moment. You wouldn't. You wouldn't accept that. And I don't accept it. I can't accept it. I'm sorry. As a male who knows the game, I cannot accept that behavior. I'm sorry. I cannot accept out-of-body experience. Let's be real. Go to the root cause of why you got to the point you got to. Yeah? Because obviously he says later on in the interview, he says, look, earlier on, when the Tondy thing, when he said, obviously, leave me out of this or get me out, get my way, or whatever he said to Tondy earlier on in that reunion, The reason why I said that was because of some things that were happening with Tondy. Basically, cast members were coming up to him saying about...
Were you mad at Tondy when you came? Because it seemed like you kept saying, leave me alone, give me a minute, get away from me.
That was a whole nother situation.
Okay.
That they didn't show. We had a whole situation where, you know, some of the guys from the cast, you know, was saying, well, hey, you know, I saw her out and she was trying to get with me and this and this and that, you know, and I'm like, man, come on now, come on. You know, I'm like, this, I already got to reveal, you know, that I'm with Reva, and now this right here is really pissing me off, you know. So at the time, you know, she was trying to, I guess, explain herself or whatever, I don't know, and I just didn't want to deal with it, you know, and I was just like, hey, just give me some time, you know, just leave me alone.
Give me some space.
Give me some space. That's all it was.
Okay.
You know, so.
Okay, well.
You know, I was myself all the way through.
Okay.
You know, everything was said about me, everything that I did was actually genuine.
Okay.
When we got to the reunion, I had an out-of-body experience. I don't know. I just snapped.
Why did you snap?
And I don't know. It was so much stuff that was going on.
Okay.
You know, during the reunion, it was so much stuff that Tondy and I was going through. You know, and I had no idea how that was going to play out.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
But I will say, I feel horrible.
Tondy was out, you know, trying to holler at me, and I was just like, So that's what happened. So is that why it's okay? So now we have to push the narrative even more. Is that why then you decided to do the switch over then? Because obviously you said Reva didn't know what you were going to do, right? And I can accept that. That we knew that Reva and him were going to break the news to Tondy about their relationship, but she may not have known that he was going to switch sides to do it. Do you get me? Now, when he switched the sides to come to her side, is that because of the fact that you feel hurt by the fact that these castmates are now coming to you? Listen, you got pride. Let's be honest. Again, this is the thing. You know, one thing I said to a friend was that never look upon my face, yeah, and think that I'm a scary person, because I can admit to you the processes and the steps and the thoughts that I put together before I got to the stage. Let's say I played a girl, yeah, and I had two girls going at the same time. I could explain to you what was going through my head, why I did it. The truth of the matter is, a lot of these guys won't explain to you why they did it, because it means showing you they're a dickhead. Let's just be real, yeah? And so when it comes to playing people, right, the real truth is this. You played two people because you could, number one. Number two, it's power for you. Number three, no one could stop you. Number four, you were enjoying your cake and eating it. You were getting from both people. Why choose when you're getting the best of both? Why stop when I'm not going to get caught? Yeah? Like, if you know you can get away with it, will you stop? That's the truth. You see, so a lot of the times, this darker nature of us, we don't want to admit we have this darker nature of our sides, yeah? That if people saw, we'd be like, whoa. So we try to downplay some of our actions. This is what Mario does, right? So when he's talking about the situation between Tondy and Reva, I noticed that men, when they get cheated on, or when I think I watched this with Matthew Hussey, and I was like, I was like, whoa, I didn't even deep that, but you're right. When, like, let's say a girl has a past, right? And maybe let's say she knows maybe one of the guys or whatever that's kind of close to him. He'll say, so what, you were just having sex with one of these guys? You were just fucking this guy. Like, raw, like, you just... And they will amplify everything, right? They'll ramp it up. When they are making a mistake, or when they explain their situation, they downplay everything. Why? It's a place of entitlement. I mean, you can do that because you're in a place of power. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and it's just what white people do to black people. When we explain the racism, they downplay it. When we've done something to them, they amp it. Same level of entitlement and prejudice and discrimination, that they don't even understand the place that they have power. These actions. So when I saw Mario did that, I said, oh, there we go. There's that entitlement that us men have. There's that pride that us men, there's that ego we have. And there's that space to be able to do that and not get spoken against. So the truth of the matter is, you know, that in regards to the situation when he was explaining that out-of-body experience, we cannot accept that. In fact, we reject that. You must state what got you to that point. And I believe it had to do something with the genuine situation. I mean, it had the situation with the castmates, maybe potentially calling him up or whatever. Had a lot to do with all of that. Because truth of the matter is, you know, those stuff did hurt him. those stuff did hurt him. Maybe he doesn't want to admit it. I believe, as a male especially, as your ego is pumping, you're telling me that the genuine situation, the fact that that is her ex, the fact that you saw, like you said yourself, you saw on her page, or saw whatever, you know, she kissed him on the cheek or whatever and said my boo, but obviously you said you were broken up by then. You know, you saw the fact that and the other castmates are calling you saying, you know, they've seen her out and this, that, you know, and I'm like, okay, so all of that didn't influence the reason why you decided to get up the way you did and go to the other side. Why did you do that? I had an out-of-body experience. No, you don't. There's no such thing as out-of-body experience. There's a conscious thought to why you did what you did. Do you see why I said to you that people who don't know how to explain their thought process are the most dangerous people? How can you have if you can have an out-of-body experience then, what's to tell me that you can't have an out-of-body experience in a relationship? And do something mad and say, I was out of my body, I'm so sorry, I cheated. It was an out-of-body experience. And this is what guys often say to you, no, my bad, you know, I don't know how I even got there. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You know how you got there. The pants didn't just come down, my G. You've been flirting for a little while. You've been talking on the phone for a little while. Y'all been chatting for a little while. Y'all been doing things for a little while, letting the line progress until you end up at the... I mean, what were you even doing at the house? Ask me that quick. What were you doing at the house? That's not an out-of-body experience. That is a conscious choices that you've been making to get you to that place. So we do not accept out-of-body experience. It is a lie and it is a cop-out, and that is not accepting responsibility. This is why I keep saying that transparency versus honesty is completely different. Transparency is not a principle. It is the way that you present information. You allow people to inspect what you're giving them, and therefore it can be transparent. But honesty is principle. Principle is what you live by, what you do. What you live by is what you do. I am honest in what I do, meaning that I will come to you first because it's my principle. I won't tell a lie because I'm principled. Yeah? So that means now I will do this thing as an action. He hasn't come to tell us, you know what I mean? He's been asked questions and then he's revealing certain things. He's not honest, he's transparent. And even transparency is slightly opaque. He mentioned about the fact that, you know what, about his character, and he mentioned about the fact that he felt pressure to keep the information between him and Reva low. Remember in the reunion he said, but Tondy, we weren't together though. When she accused him of something, he says, but Tondy, we weren't together though. You see, that same vibranium you were using then, you didn't use that same vibranium to tell her that I've moved on. And why is that? The reason why you didn't tell her is not because of pressure. You
not tell her what was going on with you and Reva before?
Well, I felt a little pressure. You know, to keep it on the hush. But at the end of the day, I still had to take responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? I could have, you know, pulled her to the side. It was several times, you know. I called her.
You didn't tell her because you knew that this will come out bad. And oftentimes, what men do is they assume that that women can't handle the truth. Do you know why that is? Because men project a lot. Projection is a self-defense mechanism, which basically means that how you feel, you project that on somebody else, and say, "Look, I know you can't handle the truth." No. That's how you feel. You can't handle the truth, so you decide not to tell Tondy. The truth of the matter is, he would not be able to handle the truth, so he decides not to tell her. This is why a lot of men, when they are doing what they're doing, cannot come and tell the truth, because they themselves will not be able to handle the truth. You know why women are often honest about their cheating? It's because they know themselves they could handle the truth if it came to them. I'm not saying they wouldn't be hurt. It is because they could handle the truth if it came to them. Men are fragile. I'm so sorry, men. As an ego, as an emotional thing, we are fragile. The reason why we're fragile is because we don't get a lot of time, nor do we spend a lot of time. Spending a lot of time. We're not often in situations where we are underhanded, or we're the ones that have been done wrong to. And so therefore our ego and pride doesn't get tested. You know, in order to know that you're stronger, you need to break some stuff and build again. Break some stuff, build again. Like, to build muscles, I must tear muscles to build the muscles. A lot of men don't get torn in their ego and pride, therefore it becomes very fragile and very frail. And so therefore now we have a situation where men project. She won't be able to handle that information, so I won't tell her. I felt pressure. You didn't feel pressure. The pressure was the only pressure you felt was the fact that you knew that you couldn't tell her because you didn't think she could handle it. Another thing for me was in terms of the dating schedule. he mentions obviously that, you know what, they were on the show, he was practically dating 2 people. Again, I'm going to just mention this, ladies and gentlemen. Here is a pro quote where I say to you that, listen, I'm not trying to be no one's number 2. Like, do you know what I mean? Obviously, in the real life, yes, you can be talking to 2 people. Don't get it twisted. You could be, and you could even be dating 2 people, right? And so therefore, it can happen in real life where you're dating 2 people. Don't get it twisted. People go on dates with several people. So here's the thing, though. That then gives you an understanding of why people can move on to somebody else so quickly. Yeah? Because it's not necessarily a dating or 2 people that we're cussing about. We're talking about the fact that of what happens after, the aftermath, right? So now, if he knew he liked Reva, why did he not go after Reva? Oh, because she got a guard up. Yeah, but you would have got there eventually. The reason why she told you why you should have guard up, because you are dating 2 people. No. You see, you can't get around this stuff. You see, men make a lot of excuses, and then they say they're accountable. You're not accountable because you're not telling the damn truth. You know, you're telling me that obviously if she'd open her guard being down, that's the reason. I mean, that kind of, then you're trying to force that through. That's potentially why you're still having a relation. I think with Tondy, you were having your cake and eating it. Let's be honest. Tondy had a banging body, yeah, for you, and a banging face for you, and you were sexually attractive. But you can't say that because that would be quite rude. I understand that. So you said physically attractive. I get it. But that's code word for sexually attracted to her. Yeah, the physical attraction, that's you. That's Reva too. Like, physical attraction is what draws us in. But you were also what? Sexually attracted to Tondy. She gave you the energy. You used the energy. You gave her kitty cat time. You enjoyed it. But truly, your heart weren't in it. That's why you were saying at a reunion that, if I can't lie to myself. Yeah, because the truth of the matter was you were enjoying the sex, you wanted the sex, but you didn't want to give your heart to that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the trouble. And it's not, you see, this is where someone might say, well, women shouldn't open their legs, but for how long? Some of these guys are long-term players. They will wait 90 days, 120 days, 150 days. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just solely the woman's responsibility here. You know what I'm saying? That's like common racism, black people's problem to deal with. No. The person who's in charge, who's got the power to do so, has the responsibility to act responsible. That's the truth. Do you get me? If I know you like me, why am I having sex with you when I know you like me and I don't feel you in my heart that way? Like, Mario always knew that it was Reva that he wanted. Always. Because he said it from basically pretty much said it like it's the fact that Reva's walls are down that he couldn't get past. That's the reason why he was that was the reason why. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't necessarily go for Reva, but Reva also at the same time did not open her heart because she saw that he had two, herself and Tondy. Do you get it? So if Mario had taken responsibility, well, this wouldn't happen. Do you get it? So the dating schedules are also odd because they're a bit off because. When did this? He said obviously September time, midway through September. That's when him and Tondy broke up, and obviously I guess by the end, he and Reva was then together. The matter is, obviously Tondy's got to take responsibility as well, as I said before in the last video, which is that she also knew what she was doing when he was saying single but dating. But who's he dating? Reva. You know that you know what I've gone from. Like, leave it alone, innit? But you didn't. You had sex with him. Like, and you know you did. Like, at the end of the day. And the fact that she was so candid about it, explaining, and even that she was candid in the sense of that she didn't want to say it fully at the beginning, but then she kind of aggressively came out of it. That tells me that I don't believe Tondy was lying, and I believe that Mario, the fact that he denied it the way he did, and just like, I think that the interviewer, she let him off lightly, but I think at that point she already knew the answer for herself. You know what I mean? There was no need to press it, and I think we can see it as well. That, you know what, good luck to you and Reva. Do you know what I mean? I'm sure Reva's going to look at it and be like, questions going to be asked. Do you know what I mean? Interesting enough, he never mentioned about the fact he loves Reva. He just says he gets on with her, it's cool, they like each other, but she says she loves him. It's going to be interesting. You know what I mean? So for me, I think there's a lot of, I focus heavily on that particular part. But what I'm just focusing on is the fact that this thing that's happened with Mario, where if he's had sex with Tondy, whilst with Reva, look, how you start is how you're going to finish, man. Do you know what I mean? So if there's that aspect of a relationship going on where there was cheating in the beginning, it going to end that way for one or the other person. Do you know what I mean? Because more times, that lack of honesty is going to transparency or lack of honesty is going to perpetuate through the relationship and cause you not to trust somebody. Do you know what I'm saying? And like I said, you know, he tries to play off like the genuine thing didn't annoy him. It annoyed most people, not just because it's genuine, but because of the way that she did it. Like he admitted, obviously, saying that the first time she wanted to go to the actual event was she didn't go in it, and then when they weren't together, she went to a genuine concert. You know what I'm saying? And apparently, castmates were calling him, right? But Tondy said that he was calling them. Either way, whichever, there was calls, right? Now, when these calls obviously came out, they've caused him to act in a certain way, but they weren't together. So he said he was cool, innit? But if you were cool, deep this. If you were cool about if you didn't really care about this one genuine situation, why you care when the other castmates came on the reunion, like you were saying, to tell you about the fact that Tondy was out and trying to make moves or whatever, that you got annoyed? I'm trying to get the two girls together. Is something that a prick would do, and I'm not saying that Mario is a prick. I want you to understand this. Deeds are different from the character, from the actual individual. That we're trying to make sure we learn that. But that was a very prickish move. In the sense of, you know already they're not going to be friends, yeah? But the fact is, you trying to make them friends, and he had no intention of making them friends. He just did that to make it look like he was a good guy in the middle. Again, it's preserving his character. And obviously, again, I'm not going to call him a narcissist, but there are traits of narcissism in there, which is one of them is obviously preservation of character, perfection, you know, self-preservation, and then obviously trying to degrade yourself. But I haven't seen him degrade any of the two women. But there's normally a control aspect and then kind of things. But yeah, so it's interesting that. You know, during that little piece there, he says that, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm hearing you, Mario. Even the host herself says it, like, why would you bring them together? Like, it doesn't make sense. Why were you trying to do that? You know that's wrong. He said, no, you know, but, you know, I'm a nice guy. And again, he's trying to push this nice guy narrative. A nice guy, nice. If you got to keep telling me you're a nice guy, yeah, I really know you're not a nice guy. Number two, nice guys often is a mask and a shade for the fact that actually you are passively aggressive. Meaning that you might not say it from the jump, oh, I'm a nice guy, but when it gets to the crunch, then you start becoming passively aggressive. Subtle digs, this, that, because literally you've not been able to, you're unable to express how you truly feel. You know what I'm saying? You're unable to take what you actually want. You know what I'm saying? That's why you've become this nice guy. So yeah, guys, it's been interesting. Let us know what your thoughts are down below. I want to end on this point and saying about guys need to check other guys. I keep saying this. In order to really get us men to change the way we behave. It's not acceptable to be dating, like, you know, having two. The women didn't do that because the men, you see, men will say, oh, you know, but it was in the process. No, but the women didn't do that. And the reason why they don't do that is because they don't do that. There is no room for them in society to do that. When they do that, they look like hoes and sluts and slag bags and J-bags and stuff like that. We call them all sorts of names when they do something like this. When the men do it, it's like, oh, you know, he's a man. No, we've got to change the narrative. Men cannot do that. You know, let's keep the player field the same. So yeah, guys, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And for those of you returnees, you ain't got the minerals. Minerals gang, baby. Ready to love, man. I appreciate y'all.